I have a friend whose daughter started doing drugs. She's 13, 14 years old, gothic gal. And we were getting together, and he was telling me, she's dating this guy that I don't approve of, and I try to drag her to church and these kinds of things. And I'm listening to this. It just sounds like a bitter dad, And I say to him, he says, what should I do? And I said, I think what she's choosing is to be wanted and needed. She gets to play something like a princess. She knows she's designed for this role, right? And with this guy, even though he's a loser, she gets to play this role in this story because you've provided a story that's just not as good. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, everybody provides a story. As a pastor, you provide a story. As a dad, you provide a story. As a mom, you provide a story. As a teacher, you provide a story. And all she's doing is choosing a story that she likes better than your story. So he thinks about it, and he's like, well, how do I do that? And I tell him, and he goes back, and he goes nuts. He goes home, and he says to his family, he gets them all together. He and his wife about to get a divorce. In her story, she thinks she's causing the divorce, right? So he gets them together. He says, after about 3 weeks worth of research, he says, I found a village in Mexico that needs an orphanage. Here's what's going to happen to these kids in this community if they don't get an orphanage. It's going to cost $25,000. We're in debt up to our heels. We don't have the money. And they're all looking at him like, so? He says, we need to build it. We need to build it within 2 years. And if we don't build it, some kids are probably not going to make it. And the family's just looking at him like, you're nuts. And after about a week, the daughter comes to him and says, I have this MySpace page. Maybe I could tell my friends about it and we could get some support. And then he had a son, he said, we're going to need passports if we're going to go to Mexico. And, you want to visit this? Yeah, we need to visit it. All of a sudden, his whole family is wrapped up. She ends up breaking up, the little girl ends up breaking up with the guy. You know why she broke up with the guy? Because she's found a better story. And now she's telling the dude, she's like, you don't understand. I'm a hero, in a sense. She doesn't have words. I'm a hero in this story. And you're a loser. So I'm done with you, right? As Christians, we've been hijacked by a different story, and we're supporting a story that isn't as good as the story that God has provided for us. And as Christian leaders, we provide a great story for people to get wrapped up in. All right, thanks.
Awesome.